You are hereby ordered to remove that cross or face a dishonorable discharge. The words echoed through the courtroom like a thunderclap, sending a wave of shock across the room. Judge's finger trembled, pointing straight at the chest of a decorated tomb guard, Sergeant David Kessler. In that brief moment of tension, the cross hanging from his chest gleamed like a challenge to the world. David stood motionless. His posture was as unyielding as the stone he guarded at Arlington. The world had never dared question the dignity of those who watched over the fallen soldiers until now. The judge, flushed with anger, demanded once more, "This is a federal courtroom, soldier. That cross is a violation of uniform code and public neutrality." Gasps rippled through the gallery, some nodding in agreement, others recoiling in silent horror. But David, like a stone monument, didn't flinch. He didn't have to. The cross wasn't a decoration, it was a promise, a memory that could never be erased. The court documents painted him as rebellious, as insubordinate, even dangerous, all because of one act of silent faith. But no one asked the real question, why? Why did David Kessler, a man sworn to defend the honor of those who gave everything, wear that cross? It wasn't just a symbol of faith, it was a symbol of love, of loss. His brother, Private Jacob Kessler, had been killed in an explosion overseas. The explosion left no body to bury, just a name on a cold stone. The only thing David had of him was that cross, burned, bent, but still whole. David promised his brother on the day of his death, "I'll make sure you're never forgotten." And he had kept that promise. Every single shift, rain or snow, heat or cold, that cross was with him. Not for religion, not for politics, for Jacob, for every name without a voice. But the lawsuit didn't care. The law didn't ask why. It only asked if. In the courtroom, cameras flashed and reporters swarmed. Networks twisted the story. Some claimed it was an act of rebellion. Others called it a war on tradition. Protesters lined the steps, waving crosses and signs reading, "Keep church and state separate." The courtroom, divided, waited. But David remained stoic, silent. And then, on the final day of the trial, the judge gave him one last chance to remove the cross. David, unwavering, spoke for the first time in days. His voice was calm, resolute. "This isn't about religion," he said, his eyes locked on the judge. "This is about remembering one soldier and the millions who will never have their names spoken." The room fell into a heavy silence. David reached into his jacket, pulled out a folded yellow letter of his brother's casualty notification. He held it up, not reading a word, just showing it. "My brother didn't get a grave," he said quietly, tapping the cross. "Just a medal. And this, I wear it because he can't." No one moved. Not the judge, not the reporters, not the audience. The footage hit the airwaves like a storm. Within hours, the story exploded across the country. Veterans, families of the fallen, and faith leaders from all walks of life stood in solidarity with David. Not for religion, not for politics, but for remembrance. The Department of Defense issued a statement. "Symbolic items worn by tomb guards tied to personal loss do not violate uniform standards." The judge, visibly cornered, tried to explain. "I was defending the separation of church and state," he stammered, but the damage was done. The nation had heard David's story, and it could no longer be silenced. A week later, David stood at his post again. The cameras panned over the honor guard, perfectly still, unbroken. And there, on his chest, gleamed that silver cross, polished and proud. This time, no one protested. Instead, a little boy in the crowd saluted as David passed. His mother wiped a tear from her eye. And behind them, an old man in a wheelchair whispered, "His brother must be proud." Sometimes, a symbol isn't about politics. It's not about power or religion. Sometimes, it's about love, about memory, about keeping the names alive when the faces are gone. And sometimes, all it takes to unite a divided nation is one soldier, brave enough to stand still. This story isn't just about a soldier's cross. It's about standing firm in your beliefs, even when the world tells you to fall. It's about remembering those who gave their lives and doing it in a way that transcends any political or religious boundaries. If this story moved you, hit that like button, subscribe to Chronicle Hub, and share your thoughts below. Where are you watching from? We love hearing from our community. Join us for more inspiring, real-life stories.